Hello, I am K.R.Nixon, or just Nixon. You may also know me as King Richard Nixon if you're from Figment. I decided to try this vlogging thing because my blogging wasn't going so well. I try to post often-ish, but most of the time I just forget. So I'm gonna try this. The idea came from the Figment group I have joined, called the AWA, the Amateur World Architects. They each do a video post on their day of the week, and they're cool people, so you should go check that out. I'm in my teenage years of life, but I'm homeschooled, so I get to sleep in every day, which is great. And I live in New Zealand. See, look, pasture stuff. There are usually cows there, but there aren't today. Anyway, cats are cooler. I live in the North Island, to be a little more exact. It's usually really windy where I live, but it's not today, which is good. That's why I'm outside. So I love reading, obviously. I've always loved reading. But when I was about 11, I got a medical condition called reflex neurovascular dystrophy, and it's based in my legs. So walking was very difficult for me. I was in a wheelchair for a while, and I'm often on crutches. I actually have my own crutches now, which is cool but not so cool at the same time. And it was about then that I got super obsessed with books. I spent all of my time reading, seriously. The condition varies quite a bit. I get worse, then better, and then worse again. When I was about 13, that was when I was in a wheelchair, I decided to write my own book. So I started, and then I stopped. And then every few months I'd write a little bit and create a few new elements, that makes more sense. So every now and then I'd write, make a few new things and add it into the book. But it was only about a yearish ago that I started writing properly. And plot's very different than what I started with. It's very, very different. But it's also much better, which is a plus. I have one main inspiration for writing, which is Brandon Sanderson. He's my favorite author of all time. Seriously. His books are wonderful and detailed, and they make you go, whoa, what? And that's what I want people to react to my book. So I have my 4 little helpers with my book, and they help me with stuff. Firstly, there's my brother. We're just gonna call him the artist, because he's an artist and he's really awesome, and I bounce everything off him. All my ideas, concepts, and pretty much everything. He's really good at telling me when something doesn't make sense or it's just bad. I'm reading off paper, just so you know. And then secondly, there's my other brother, and he's going to be named the Knowledge, because he knows everything. He helps me with things I've polished a little, and he tells me if it's cliche or whether it's a really bad thing that seems good but isn't. He knows all the tropes and what to avoid when writing and stuff like that. And thirdly, there's my other brother. I have 3. He's called the Scientist, because he is a scientist. He studies nanotechnology, and he's really cool and smart. He's quite critical, and he knows all the tiny flaws that I need to fix, and he tells me all the things that I've invented for my world, how they would actually work in my world. Like, what stuff would affect them, and how we could make it could actually be possible, kind of, with science and stuff. Yeah. So, and lastly, there's my mother. She's just going to be my mother. She provides me with food. She isn't actually a huge fan of fantasy, so it's always good to get her to read it, because she doesn't know the things that experienced fantasy nerds take for granted. She works sort of like a general public reaction thing. So my story that I'm writing, it's currently named Hidden in Plain Sight. It's about a girl whose entire race is slaughtered. Yeah. And the book follows her journey to find her place in a world full of humans. There's another cat there, just so you know. That one's Rocky. Which is why my cat is hunting him. Yeah. So I originally started with elves and humans, but it just was not working, so I created my own species, and there's still a little few trace elements of elf in it, but by the time I'm finished, you won't notice unless I mention it, which I just did. Whoops. So that's pretty much an introduction of me. You can follow my blog, which is wanderingwordsofthewriter.blogspot.com, or my Twitter, which is, you can just search for the handle, which is Kate the Cat, just with a K on the cat, because the other one was taken. I'll put links at the bottom of this video. I'll also link you to my Figment page where you can read the prologue in chapter 1 of my book. Part of chapter 2 is there as well, but it isn't very good yet, so you probably just skip it. If you have any questions, just comment below and I'll probably get back to you. You're not going to see my face, probably. You can just look at my cats, because my cat is so much prettier than me. Right. Bye! Oh. Ugh. What do you think, Coco?